Thank you, ladies. Our next honoree is Stacey Stevens with the Gary Stephen Project, nominated by Justice Evelyn Lundberg Stratton. Justice Stratton and Stacey, will you please join me here? Stacey Stevens is receiving the Special Courage Award. On September 1st, 2016, Stacey's father, Gary Stevens, was murdered in his kitchen while defending his home and 4 beloved Yorkies from an addict who was looking for easy money from a disabled veteran. As a Marine, even fatally wounded, Mr. Stevens fought back and shot his attacker twice. The man who murdered Mr. Stevens was apprehended, prosecuted, and is serving life without the possibility of parole. Before his death, Mr. Stevens had received care from the Chillicothe Veterans Affairs Medical Center. While staying at the Veterans Center, he was provided a handmade ditty bag that contained much-needed toiletries and other necessities. These small handbags were a reminder to him that someone cared and that he was a veteran and took the time to craft something useful for him and for others. Mr. Stevens also realized that those items are scarce and greatly needed. Mr. Stevens and his daughter, Stacey, have begun making plans to pay it forward to the Veterans Medical Center. Stacey was preparing to teach her father how to sew, and together they were going to make and donate those bags. She wants her father to be remembered for his kindness and service to his country rather than the final minutes of his life. To honor her father's memory and fulfill his dream, Stacey started the Gary Stevens Project, a nonprofit organization. Beginning August of 2018, Stacey, her friends, and residents of the Adelphi Senior Center have all volunteered their time, sewn and donated more than 700 ditty bags and handmade quilts for veterans in hospice care. Presenting Stacey's award is nominator Justice Evelyn Lundberg Stratton.
25 years ago, a young lady came into my office when I was a trial judge. Her name was Kathy Lee, and she had endured a lot of abuse, and there was a local prosecutor at the county who would not prosecute. I did not realize that there was a special law that allowed them to get their own prosecutor when that did not happen under circumstances, and she did that. So she taught me something about the law. Kathy went on to turn that experience into something special that is here today. She was really the first one to demonstrate special courage in what she did. And now Stacey's doing the same. A terrible tragedy. You could just wallow in misery, or you could just go on with your life and deal with it. She turned it into something beautiful, something that veterans can remember, know that they're cared for, know that they're loved. But she's done more than that. She's created a real community of the women who put these together. The men at first came out, I think, curiosity, who now are saying, oh, we can do that too. And she's made a whole community for these people to have something to give back to the veterans who gave so much for us. So I'm so honored to have nominated Stacey.
So it's a little awkward. I don't typically tear up, but it's hard to hear about your dad. And I couldn't bring him with me, but I did bring his ditty bags that he had from the VA. And this is my inspiration for this. I wanted to thank Kathy. I'm so terribly sorry she's not here. And Justice Stratton. And my friend Abby, who started sewing with me, and my family, and everyone who's helped me at the Adelphi Senior Center. It has been a great win-win. My grandmother and my dad had been there or had gone there themselves. And it's been a great win-win situation for us. I have this great opportunity, so I would like to say to you, if you're a prosecutor or if you work with victims of crime, please don't ever tell someone that their loved one isn't worth prosecuting or isn't worth the death penalty or isn't worth the money. Please, please, please remember, they were people. They weren't just numbers to you. My dad is my dad. He's not just the murder victim. And that's that's where I'd like to move forward from that. So I'm working on ditty bags, I'm working on victims of care bags or comfort bags for victims of crime, and we're starting in Hocking County, and I'm pleased to say that we're working on 50 of those right now, so that while you're in court, you have something, hand sanitizer, crosswords, pencils, pens, notebooks, just things that you don't maybe remember to bring with you, and that aren't readily available in rural counties. There isn't a Staples right across the street. And I'd like to remind people to use the toolkit. That was how I came across the Ohio Crime Victims Justice Center. I found it in the middle of the night, and it was a tremendous resource. And really, my last reminder is I've just spent the last 3 days in Washington, D.C. on a field trip with 8th graders. And if you need a great place to find quotes, let me tell you, that's the place to go. At the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, it says, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." Please remember to be kind.